Hello everyone and welcome to a Nations Cup. This is test season 19 and we're at Brands Hatch, and this is my qualifying lap in that, and of course we're nearly 2 temps up, so that will puts us well in the frame for position there, around the 128.8. But weirdly I get a bit of a slide there. I've never had that slide before, or again in any other car, hitting the curb the way I did there. So very odd. Of course I've lost a bit of time, and I know I had lots of time to gain in this last sector from my previous lap. So where did I come? So I expect I should be a 128.7. Stefanzi in pole position, then Devil 128.5. So we might not have been there. Aug, Twizzy 128.6, Skippy there 128.6, Indian Food 128.7. So I think we're sure around this area, McLaren 6, Matrix sort of area, but we're not, unfortunately, at the moment. There's Christian, there's Bakan Momo. I've not raced them for a while. There's Thomas, Cuba Tom. Lots of Brits in this one. 15th, oh my word. So I've got a hell of a lot to do to try and make up positions. I already know at this point that I'm going to go for strategy over everything else, because that's the best way to make positions at Brands Hatch. There's not a huge amount of overtaking that happens, but when you can make the overtake, go for it by all means. But of course, if I'm going for strategy and pit stops, I'm going to have to save fuel, and I'm going to have to, play it coy. So in parts, I'm going to have to use full power, the fuel map 1, and in other parts, I'm going to have to use fuel map 2, 3, and so on, to try and eke that fuel out as much as possible. The race is already underway, as you can see. So we're going to stay behind these guys, try and use the slipstream as well as best as we can. Again, slipstreaming saves you a bit more fuel. There, punching the hole in the air, you're just going through a lot less dense air, so it's all well and good. As we continue on, it looks lovely, doesn't it, with all these cars? It's mainly M4s. I think there's the odd other type of car in there. You will have seen that on the grid. I know there's a TT definitely in there. One of the Ascaro guys is racing that. I think there was a Ferrari in there as well. But we continue racing. Obviously the M4 was dominant at this point in time in the Group 4 class. That's obviously been changed a little bit, but it's still a strong car there. So that's why everyone's chose it, basically. And Brands Hatch, one of my favourite circuits, of course. I seem to be fairly quick here. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I'm fairly quick here for some reason. Fortunately, qualifying didn't show that. We advanced to the next lap, and you can see we're caught up to Hugo again. As I say, I'm fuel saving at the moment. I've got no real issues. Verstappen sort of staying behind me. He's not pulling a max. But we keep racing all the same into this right-hander. We're going to get a yellow flag. There it is. And up ahead, you will see that first and second place have had a bit of an incident. So there's Stefanzi. There's Devil. They've had incidents on the track. Looks like Devil waited for Stefanzi there, so obviously he made the mistake. Let him go. So that's good sportsmanship. And we gained 2 positions from that. And that is what this is about. So of course, we've got strategy. We'll make overtakes where we can. But it's the attrition as well. I mean, we've got 24 laps at Brands Hatch, and it's quite a technical circuit in the grand scheme of it. Look at Hugo there, looking for a move on Christian. Doesn't quite go for it at Paddock Hill Bend. Quite a risky move to do at Paddock Hill Bend, but he's looking to get past at least. And then we need to be ready in case any incidents happen between these guys, to then capitalise on any mistakes. Going out of Druids, all very well and good. You can see I'm short shifting there, just under half, and that was nearly just over a quarter actually, much less. And we're in 4th gear. Ooh, a bit of a slide there, just clipping the dirt with the back rear tyre. Back rear tyre, that's the same thing. Rear right tyre. We'll get there in the end with commentary. As we continue out there, you can see Hugo is very close to Christian now. So looks to the right hand side. Christian gives him space there. Obviously, maybe on some form of strategy like myself, trying to save fuel, see what he can do. And Hugo with a cracking move there into that right-hander, gets that position. I start looking a little bit, have to defend a little bit from Verstappen, of course, because I've lost a little bit of time just catching up to Christian there, but all's well and good. We haven't lost anything, and we're up 2 positions from the 15th place that we started. We don't have to finish 17th, of course, as you can tell by the bonnet, number 17 on there. That's where the game expects us to finish in this lobby at this time, so that's fine, and we can keep racing. Just see somebody go off in the background there. I'm not sure who that is. 16th place, I can't even see them. No idea who that was, but somebody went off all the same. Now, Christian runs a bit quick, or a bit deep into the last corner there. I'm going to get a good run on him here. And he doesn't go defensive, which tells me he has got a strategy, but I'm going to go for the move into Paddock Hill Bend. And just breaking in here. It doesn't let me go straight away, but I go through all the same. Take that position, up to 12th position. We're now profit of 3 positions. So that's what we're going to keep doing. We're going to keep working at this now through the race. Go to lap number 5, McLaren 6 on the right side. This is the time when the penalties were a bit extreme, so we get another position there from McLaren. Up to 11th. This is all going well so far. Let's see what we can do. Hugo's obviously built up a bit of a gap to us. Skippy there, slowing down as well. Must have a penalty, but just carries on just as Hugo gets there. Advance a few laps later to lap number 10, and you can see this massive train of cars. There's 8 of us in this train, going from whoever is up there in 5th position, I think that is, back to McLaren right behind me. You just see Skippy looking for a move on Cubitom. Doesn't quite work out. Very hard place to overtake there on that left-hander, just because you want to open it up, and if you turn too tight, got an issue. As you can see, we're on power 2 there on the fuel map. McLaren goes for the move on the left-hand side, so I go defensive on the right, of course. I'm coming into here. McLaren just backs out of it, and what I really should have done is let off, because I'm going on the dangerous part here, and the car just spears to the right, bounces off there. I'm trying to now control the car, but unfortunately it's just going to slide off. Ads literally goes past me by inches. The Foundy goes past as well, and we continue racing. You probably wonder why I didn't slam on fully at that point. Basically, if you slam on fully, the wheels will just, it literally won't stop anyway. You just see Skippy's had an instant there into that right-hander, and we just catch him. And thankfully, the Ghost turns non-Ghost at the right point and not inside us and causes chaos. So we've lost positions now. We've lost, how many did we lose there? 2 positions. I lost a whole lot of time there. Good 2, 3, 4 seconds. And now we've got all that to gain. We're still 2 positions profit, so it's not the end of the world. But we've got more work to do. So first corner, Skippy does that all fine. There we go. Cubitom's had a bit of an issue at Paddock Hill Bend and has gone off. So we've gained another position there, up to 12th position. Gain these positions back. So we just advanced to the end of the lap, of course, and Skippy is going to go in the pits here. So we get another position, and Stefanzi clips the gravel there into the barrier. Stefanzi not having a good race at all. Started in pole position and is now way back in the field. We've got Punku behind us. Now, there's a bit of a funny thing with the Portuguese. The Brits are always quite worried at the Portuguese, and I'm always a bit wary. There's a couple of them that I'm not really familiar with, but Punku's fine, it seems, at this point. As you can see by his racing, you know, he's following me, it's all good. I have to jump between the fuel and the radar to really judge it. Judge when I need fuel map 1, fuel map 2, fuel map 3. They're the ones I mainly use. If you go any more, you're going to lose a lot of time. I think occasionally at Interlagos I may go to 4 or 5 on the sort of intersection, but not here at Brands. It's a very fast circuit. We're up to 8th position, of course, but obviously now we've got all the pit stop windows and all sorts happening, so we don't know our true position until later on in the race. But even so, we're just going to keep racing on. So I go in the pit at the end of lap 12. Pumpku obviously saved lots of fuel there, 19 versus everybody else, and he comes out, he's underfilled as well, short filled, sorry, so he's definitely looking to gain positions, and he's doing fuel saving right. We come out in 16th position, again, we don't know where we really are at the moment, but Manson, I think, was behind us and is now ahead of us, so he will be fuel saving, I think. Ads was ahead of us, so that's all fine. Who else can we see? So Pumpkin obviously came out ahead of us, even though he's behind us. He'll be fuel saving. At this point, again, I'm just thinking now, do I overtake? Obviously, I'm racing Manson, Ads, Pumpkin. Whoever's in Pumpkin, in front of Pumpkin, I think I'm racing as well. Because obviously we've all done the pit stop. I'm already going to do the one because it was the end of lap 12. So we come into the last corner. We're going to look for who's pit stopping this time. And it's XQW, that's all I'm going to pronounce that name. I see him quite a lot. He races Porsche mostly, but obviously probably racing BMW in this situation. But we're up a position, we're into 15th position. We're sort of a neutral gain at this point, and it looks like Ads has got a penalty of some kind, so we get another position there, up to 14th with what? Profit again, but we need to get past Manson at this point. We really do need to get past Manson. So we accelerate a bit further on in the race, end of lap 14, start of lap 15 now. 29.6, get our fastest lap that we've done so far. Pumpku has binned it. So the Portuguese are, well, as I say, us Brits, we kind of noticed that the Portuguese do that quite a bit. So, you know, just need to calm down a little bit. But unfortunately, he did bin it at Paddock Hill Bend. Of course, he was on that strategy of short shifting and saving fuel. That's not going to help him now because I'm ahead. So it's all good. I don't have to save fuel. I can just annihilate it to the end, just with the way I did my strategy. So we're up to 13th position, and again we're still looking for a way to get past Manson. And there's a big battle going on in front of him. We've got Matrix in there. Who else have we got in there? I can't see. I can't actually see who's there. But if we can get past Manson, we can get involved in that and try and gain a few more positions. Of course, everything's profit at this point because we started in 15th position. But let's see what happens as we come into this right-hander. And you just see Manson losing the rear end a little bit there. So we are putting a little bit of pressure on him here now, getting as close as we can. We nail that corner really nice. He nearly runs wide there, very close to the edge. Into this left-hander, accelerate out as fast as we can. We nail that beautifully. Look how close we are now. So he's going to have to go defensive if he wants to defend the position. Sort of in the middle of the road, which is fine. Then goes left very quickly. Kind of like that a little bit, but even so, he takes the racing line. But he makes a mistake because of it. With the weight transfer of moving over to the left quite quickly, we go for the move on the right, and we're going to get him up towards Paddock Hill Bend. We already get that position. So there we go into 12th position. Now we're going to catch up to Matrix, Hugo, and whoever the heck is in front of Hugo. I can't see. We'll find out when we get there. It's one of the Bucko guys, it's Champ. And we'll see what we can do when we catch up to them. I think one of these guys is running the TT. Indeed, Matrix is running the TT. So we advance a bit further ahead. You can see we've caught up a little bit. Manson stayed behind. Pubq stayed behind Manson as well. Probably having to save fuel, but Matrix goes for the move on the inside there. But oh, so it's not Champ, it's Gamp or Giamp or Gimp, I don't know. But we keep racing all the same, and we're gonna have a run on Matrix now. So we're up another position, up to 11th. I kind of like this at the moment. I'm gaining positions. We've got 5 laps to go, and we'll see what we can do. 6 laps to go because we're on the 6th to go, 5 point whatever, however you want to call it. But we come out of Druids and we can see a train of cars in front of us, so it's not all over at this point. I think we should be in that train of cars, to be honest, if we didn't have that accident. But we'll keep racing all the same as we look to try and overtake Matrix. Matrix just runs a little bit wide there. Of course, he's in a front wheel drive TT, so it's going to struggle. We nail that beautifully. We're right behind him at this point, so he either chooses to defend or we go. Where's he going? Where's he going? Where's he going? Lets me go to the inside. Look at this. Oh, he lets me go there. Brakes, puts on the anchors. So we're not going to pull what we did earlier on where we defended from Matrix. We leave plenty of room on that left hand side. I've mentioned it in the guide. You run wide there, you risk spinning out, and unfortunately I spun out. You know, I show you the good and bad parts of my driving. That was pretty bad, and then of course it just wouldn't stop. So even if I put on the anchors full on, it would not stop in that grass, and I would have actually stopped on track, which would have been even worse. But in that point we managed to escape a crash, and of course Ads escaped hitting me as well with some nice driving. So we can see we're on fuel map 2, so we're just saving a little bit of fuel here because we did short shift a little bit beforehand, so we had to fuel save a little bit, but it's all well and good. We've got 2 laps to go, 2 laps of fuel remaining, and we've got GT Bucka Momo in front of us. You can see he's ran wide a little bit there at Paddock Hill. You can see a massive battle going on between Hugo and whoever the hell that is. Oh, that's Thomas. So they're having a big battle. And we're going to look to try and get past Bucka Momo to try and take advantage of this. Look at that, side by side to Graham Hill. That's very, very sketchy stuff between those guys up front. Thomas runs a little bit wide there. Bucka runs a little bit wide as well, but that's all good. We've also got Manson right behind us. I did not realise that. So I'm under a bit of pressure here. This is where I need a mirror and the fuel map. But look at Bucka Momo, runs wide there. Another dangerous place to run wide, because the minute you touch that, you go flying because you are turning the car. So we gain another position. Looks like Hugo's managed to overtake Thomas there as we advance towards the final lap here, and seeing if we can catch Thomas at all. Fuel looking okay, 0.5 left in the tank, and we're just over half of the lap done. So we should make it all fine and dandy through this right hander. We're catching all the time here. Just made a tiny little mistake in that corner into the left hander. Another little bit of a mistake. You can see we're pushing hard. We got a bit of an oversteer there. Manson has stayed behind us as well. So Manson letting me go. Oh no, so it's Matrix let me go. Manson's kept up with me, hasn't he? And you can just see Skippy's had a bit of an issue there on the last corner of the last lap. That's a bit iffy, that, isn't it? So you can just see people slow down. We jumped to 7th. We gained 8 positions during that entire race. Some penalties in front of us. So Skippy lost a position there. Thomas lost a position due to a penalty. We gained some positions at the end. So not a bad race, all in all. 15th to 7th. I'll take that. Only meant to finish 17th. gained RDR. So I hope you enjoyed that race. We haven't had GT Sport race in quite a while. There's another playlist there if you want to watch any other GT Sport races. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. But that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.